Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, my name's Ray. I'm sitting here with Matt, and for the first time in about 400 episodes, and we haven't even had 400 episodes, Mike is back. So we've been having a lot of fill-ins from Mike lately. Mike's been busy. So the original crew is back. No Socrates this week. The original three are back. And of course, you guys heard coming in, you guys heard Radio Silence, which, you know, we're sitting here with the Light Divided members, Jaycee and Scott. They gave us permission to use that as our new official theme song for the Happy Hour podcast. So thank you for that. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Well, as you can see, I'm still in quarantine. I don't know about anybody else, but I've just been in my little hermit zen over here, hanging out, doing the thing, trying to stay alive. You know the drill. Yeah. And of course, we're live on Facebook, and you guys, like, we listen to a lot of your stuff. We listen to your new album. You know, you guys, I feel like that you guys are on the brink of something giant. Like, you know, I love all the music. No pressure.
And you guys, of course, you're coming to our area in August. You guys are going to be in Frederick, Maryland. You know, how was it? Of course, COVID happened, but how was touring and all that? You know, what was it like, you know, being on tour before COVID hit? And then, of course, you guys had to stop. You know, just completely stop dead in your tracks. Did that kill any kind of momentum, or are people what hungry for you to come back now since COVID happened?
Yeah, before you answer that, Jace, I didn't know you guys were in Maryland. We're going to have to link up when we are there. That'd be super cool to hang out face to face. I had no idea that's where you were based.
Yeah. We're definitely, we're in Baltimore. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, and I think I told Jaycee, we're cool with Jimmy's Famous Seafood. That's where we did our 1 year anniversary episode. I know they have bands every so often, so maybe you guys can try to link up with them and do a show there. Jimmy's Famous Seafood, the most famous seafood restaurant in the state of Maryland. So
that already sounds good. Okay, so I'm going just to eat, if nothing else.
Jason,
but yeah, touring is, sorry, I can't tell if I'm talking over anybody.
No,
that seems accurate. But
yeah, sorry. I was just saying you and I.
You go ahead. I'll just sit here quietly.
And of course,
I think my connection might be bad because I think it's delayed. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You seem like you're good on our end. But of course, your albums, you have, of course.
Okay, cool. Sorry if I'm cutting you off.
And then also Mirrors. So Choose Your Own Adventure, of course, has Radio Silence. You know, how is it with the new album? How's the new album doing?
Well, we don't have a new album now. Choose Your Own Adventure was the album that we did before Radio Silence. Radio Silence is the first taste of our new album, Static, that's coming soon. Eventually, if I can stop reworking everything. I keep thinking a song's done and then being like, but what if it was more? Because I am a crazy person. But with Static, this is the first time we really get a chance to sit down, let the song grow on us, and really figure out if there's anything else we want to add. When we did Choose Your Own Adventure, it was like, go, love it, done. So this one, we get to kind of take a step back and really give it the attention to detail that we feel like maybe it needs. So I'm really excited about it. You were talking about touring before, and touring is my absolute favorite thing to do. Like, you can put me in the studio recording, but being on stage and getting that connection with people is where I thrive. So having that taken away with COVID was really hard. I felt like I had no idea what I was doing as a person anymore. But that being said, because we were planning on 2020 being such a big touring year for us, it was nice to kind of have a built-in opportunity to get back in the studio, so that we could put new music out for you guys and tour that.
And is there, and of course, you guys are very high energy. All of your videos, everything I've seen from you guys are very high energy. Love the energy. Are there any songs that you guys prefer out of all the songs you guys have that you love to do live the most?
One of my personal favorites to play live is Another Bar Fight in Brooklyn. I just think that one goes so hard for no reason. And we just get to jump around, do dumb shit. Everybody likes to sing along with us. So that's just my personal favorite.
Plastic Crowns too. Plastic Crowns is a great one live. That's one of my favorites live.
Now, of course, with Another Bar Fight in Brooklyn, have you guys ever been in a situation where you've almost been in a bar fight during or after one of your shows? Because of course I'm a pro wrestler. You know, everybody knows. Oh, we talk every, and you know, it'd be the kind of thing where you would go to a bar after a show, and people would find out that you're a pro wrestler, and they would sit there and try you. And more often than not, they would let down before they would have their arms and legs ripped off by about 30 wrestlers in a bar. But
yeah. But funny enough, the song title came. There was one of our very first tours, we played Brooklyn for the first time. And there was this dude after the show that was just trying to start fights with everybody, punching out windows in the car, in the parking lot, and then acted surprised when the police showed up to try to, you know, carry him off. So I just named the song after that experience because I thought it was funny.
I have been in a bar fight in Brooklyn, and that was no fun. I had to like take my bass player at the time to the hospital for like plastic surgery and stitches. It was quite an experience on that tour.
And what's funny is, you know, we're from Baltimore. We're Baltimore boys. So, yeah, everybody knows Baltimore for the gun violence that, you know, is in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a great city. Other than that, I love Baltimore. But it's funny because when I was in Brooklyn, I went to an Orioles-Yankees game. And being an Orioles, that was our first time being in Brooklyn. We're leaving the Yankees game. And honestly, it wasn't really the Yankees fans that were bad. When we were leaving the game, there were armed cops, armed guards with helmets, riot gear, and M16 standing in the streets outside of Yankee Stadium. And I looked at my wife, I'm like, we're from Baltimore. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, that's extra. That's too much.
It's like, yeah, this is just completely uncalled for. So,
right?
That's crazy.
And what crazy, aside from that, what have you guys had any crazy fans or, you know, any crazy fan experiences at any of your shows?
There's some wild times. There's a couple of times where somebody like went to like shake my hand and then they like grabbed it and licked it. And that was really weird to me. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to do with that. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom immediately and hide. But most of the time people are super cool and super respectful, and that's what I really love about our fan base, is that it's just like hanging out with a bunch of homies you haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, and you know, it's great because with the music side of things, you know, you guys get things going, you get people crazy, and then people, you know, you get a mosh pit going, people start fighting each other in a mosh pit. And you know, it's funny that with, you know, pro wrestling is compared to music, you know, and Mike knows this because, you know, he's a wrestling thesaurus. You know, I call him the wrestling dinosaur because he's a wrestling thesaurus. But you know, you get a guy who's enough of a bad guy. There have been guys, Classy Freddie Blassie, Roddy Piper, they've been stabbed by fans because the fans bought into what they were doing so much that, you know, that's the thing. But, you know, you guys being on stage doing music, everybody's happy, everybody's having a good time. But wrestling, it's kind of like you're that puppet master of, oh, yeah, I'm going to fuck this person's night up tonight just because I can. This person's going to be an easy get. Once I make them angry, the rest of the crowd's going to be angry. And then they're going to cheer for whoever's kicking my ass when they come out. And, you know, it's crazy.
Not to get too far off topic, but I just rewatched it again. It's one of my favorite movies. You ever seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
Funny story with The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. A lot of the guys I know, including myself, were on set for that movie. My scene got cut. You remember when he did the ultra violent match?
The one with the staples and like all that?
When he came in the back and walked down the steps, the original shot showed me and another guy helping him down the steps. However, they used a different shot. So the shot that they used, you couldn't see us, so we were never able to get an IMDb credit for it. But we did get to see him. He was able, when he fell on the floor and threw up, they had him do that probably about 12 times. And they took Nella wafers. He chewed up Nella wafers with ginger ale, chewed up in his mouth, fell on the floor, threw up. Shot again, fell on the floor, threw up. And all of us are there. It was 13 hours worth of filming. Mind you, you have pro wrestlers who are used to just going out and doing the stuff live and not redoing it. We're just sitting there. I'm just kind of like, man, what the hell is this? But it was a cool experience.
I bet.
Fun. But yeah, I mean, you get those crazy experiences while you're out on the road. And, you know, you guys, when you were doing your albums, was there a lot of studio work for that? Or because I know we had a gentleman on not too long ago, and he said he actually does a lot of the stuff from his home studio, and some of the guys just kind of do stuff separately, and then they just kind of mix it all together. You know, they don't really see each other really in studios much anymore.
Oh, the guy from
yeah, like I think we all kind of do stuff at home. We write ideas at home, but then we literally get in the studio and it all goes out the window. Like, but like, yes, I constantly am like writing songs and like sending them to people and sending ideas out. You know, we all live separately. Like I'm down in Tampa, Florida, which is a big wrestling hub. I know.
Yeah.
You know, Jaycee is in North Carolina right now. So it's like we're kind of spread out. So like we kind of, you know, I'll write a song idea or something in my home and then send it to everybody. And then, like I said, we get into the studio and like, it just all gets thrown out the window. You know what I mean? Like everything starts from scratch. So yeah, it's a lot of studio work.
Yeah. And
for sure.
When you guys got together, how did that come? Were you guys all friends beforehand, or did you guys just kind of discover it? How did A Light Divided come together as a group?
I was in a different band before this one, and I was only in the band for like 3 months. And then by the time I was doing that, I kind of just wanted to do something new. So me, the original guitarist, and Adam, our drummer, kind of just got together and became the genesis of what A Light Divided is today. And then we just kept finding people who wanted to be a part of this and put as much on the line as the rest of us were. So that's how we found Doug and Scott. Like I said, Doug lives in North Carolina too. We were on tour and we played in Florida, and we saw Scott playing with his original band, or his original band, but with another band that he was in at the time. And we saw his stage presence and we're like, holy shit, like that looks like a dude that looks like he would fit right in. So, he actually filled in with us for a tour at the beginning of 2019, and the rest was just history. Here we are.
And real quick, I'm going to move on. And this is something that's been bothering me all week. Mike probably might not know where I'm going, but Matt might know where I'm going. My lovely wife went the other day, and she went and had her nails done. And she had her nails done in red, white, and blue. And she talked to her nail salon girl, and she's like, can you do it in a design like the way a rocket pop is? And they're like, a rocket pop?
I love that.
They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean a rocket pop? She's like, rocket pops. Like we all grew up with rocket pops. She's like,
yeah.
I've never heard of them. So my wife goes online, types in rocket pops.
I almost didn't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the popsicle.
Yeah, the ones that are shaped like a spaceship. So she goes online to show her a picture, types in rocket pops. Rocket pops don't exist anywhere online. They are bomb pops or firecrackers. And at this point, I'm like, what kind of dimensional hole are we in right now? And I'm like, it's a Mandela effect type thing, because
that's what I was going to say. The Mandela effect at work.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I remember that down here in Florida at all. That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I'm like, how in the hell does that happen?
No, they're the most patriotic fucking popsicle.
And the rockets red glare. So, it's shaped like a rocket. I'm like, who would name a plane shaped ice cream a bomb pop? Why would you put bomb in the same thing as an airplane? Like, it's crazy. So, and that's the thing. If you get a chance, Google rocket pop, and it will pop up with just bomb pops.
That's what I'm doing after this, because that's wild. I definitely remember rocket pops, or I do remember them also being called firecrackers as well.
Yes, I do remember firecrackers.
Bomb pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know her.
I can deal with Sinbad not being a genie, but this whole thing with rocket pops being bomb pops, this is it. If we are living in a different reality, this is it. I want to get wherever there are rocket pops. I want to go back to there.
Me too. Just to stay on the Mandela effect for a minute, my favorite one is the Fruit of the Loom logo, where it used to be in the cornucopia.
Yes.
And it apparently never existed. I swear, the only reason I even know the word cornucopia is because of the fucking Fruit of the Loom.
Yes.
And you mean to tell me it doesn't exist?
Yeah. Another one that got me was the Monopoly Man and the monocle. And apparently he never had it. And I'm like, that's
what? Really?
Yeah. Apparently he never had a monocle. And I do a lot of eBay sales. I sell stuff on eBay, and my wife, her cousins, her aunt and uncle gave me one of the old Monopoly games they had. And sure enough, he didn't have a monocle. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm holding it like it's some sort of cursed Ouija board. I'm like, what is this?
And Twilight Zone.
Yeah. And a lot of people said it probably originated from Ace Ventura, when he looked at the guy and he's like, it's the Monopoly Man, and he's wearing a monocle. But then we thought, we're like, that's probably why he said it, because he's wearing
That's probably it.
Like him. So
I loved that movie growing up. Like my brother and I used to like act out that scene where he had the dude like around his shoulders. Da 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 da. Yeah, I love that.
I'm not gonna diehard Miami Dolphins.
Unfortunately, I used to
as a diehard Miami Dolphins fan, going all the way back to my childhood, it's impossible not for every Miami Dolphins fan not to love Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I used to act out. I used to take like a plastic bag and rip a hole in it, and I would act out the rhino scene when he was just going,
oh my God.
No, I wouldn't. But if I were to act one of those scenes out, that's the scene I would want to do, is to come out of a rhino's anus in front of a child. Like, that's, Mommy, what's happening?
I'm trying to figure out where you were taking this, right? And I figured it out.
Well,
woof.
Yeah. And so you guys, of course, you're from North Carolina, you're from Florida. How often do you guys get to play in front of your hometown crowds? Have you guys been able to do that relatively often?
Not as much. I think when we first started this band, our motto was just to play anywhere and everywhere as much as possible. And now that we've done that, we want to kind of just go all over the US. So we did 2 cross-country tours last year. We're always just trying to go as far out and expand our range of where we tour to more often, so that when we do come home, it's like a big party where like all your friends come out and you get to see them after such a long time. Because I feel like if you're just playing your hometown over and over and over and over and over again, they're tired of seeing the same show. So it's kind of cool to go out, see your friends all across the country, and then come back home and feel really warm and welcome,
Nice.
I'm still anxiously awaiting the chance to play Tampa.
We're getting there. Oh my, I swear the amount of people that I get being like, come to Florida. If the entire state of Florida does not come to these shows, I'm going to be mad.
Dude, trust me too.
I was able
I'm just kidding. I love y'all.
To the Foo Fighters home show when they came to Columbia, and that was crazy. And yeah, his home show here in Columbia, because he's from DC, they had to 3 times to get off stage, because they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're doing another motherfucking song. And he's like, look, they're telling me to get off stage, but look, I'm not doing that. I'm home tonight, damn it. And we're just kind of like, man, this is the best shit ever.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have, Sir Ray, you have the that Maryland, like sometimes North Carolina, Virginia accent. I just heard it when you were saying home.
People tell me that all the time. That's not the first time I've gotten that.
No, yeah, it's like it's super.
There's a distinct dialect, yes.
And what's great is, of course, we're live on Facebook. People have been interactive on the Facebook. A lot of people said someone Austin Weird said, I step away at work and I come back to coming out of a rhino's anus. So that's
what we bring to the table.
And of course, Austin, welcome. If you've never listened in before, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. That's just the way it works.
We love Austin. Austin's a good dude.
Yeah.
And of course, me and Jaycee were talking a little bit before we went live. Of course, Britney Spears just went up in front of,
don't get this woman started.
Yeah.
Ask God how often I have talked about the Free Britney movement. Like, it's been years.
I literally watched a documentary about it because she told me I needed to see it. And I finally watched it. It was crazy. Like, it was pretty nuts, actually.
Yeah, and you know, it's crazy. And I was saying too that, you know, me being a kid, I had Britney Spears albums. I had, you know, I had her pictures all over my wall and all that. Like Britney was like my crush growing up.
Don't lie. You got a Catholic schoolgirl fucking shit in your closet right now.
Yeah,
I
wear it all the time. I wear it all the time. You know, it's the whole thing that everything she said, like, you know, could you imagine that though? 13 years, you know, people
heartbreaking,
paying people to basically tell you, you need to go up there and perform. You know, that's I'm gonna say the kind of thing, like, you know, Mike's sitting there, he doesn't want to go to work. His hemorrhoid, he's bleeding hemorrhoids out of his ass. And they're like, no, dude, you need to do it. It doesn't matter what's going on. Like, you need to go out and do it. However, you're paying those people that are making you go up on stage. Like, just
you're not getting anything.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, they gave her an allowance. They gave her a $2,000 allowance. She's 40. She's 40.
She's bringing in 60 mil, and her father is getting like triple her weekly allowance. Please.
Yeah, and they were talking about that they might not let her out of that. That there's a good possibility to get out of that. And when you listen to everything that's associated with that, there's no way that shit can be legal. Like,
no, it's so scary that something like that can happen in this country. Like that kind of shit goes on. Like, that's insane to think about, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
you know, it's the whole thing of, you know, everybody was like, oh,
if
well,
it can happen to somebody as high profile as her as well, how often is it happening to people that are flying on the radar?
Yeah, exactly. If it could happen to somebody as powerful and connected as Britney fucking Spears, the rest of us don't have a chance.
It's just a good thing that nobody likes me and I'm so unpopular and nobody wants anything to do with me anyway. I'm good. Like, I ain't got to worry about it.
That's the thing. You shave your head once and hit a car with an umbrella, and 13 years later, this is the shit that you have to go through. Like, and I mean, I don't know about you guys,
all the
but
fucked up shit I've done. Somebody should have took fucking citizenship a long time ago.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but personally, like, shaved head Britney hitting a car with, you know, a umbrella was like the hottest form of Britney around. Like, it's just kind of like, well, okay, my life's not that bad then. Like, you know, I'm not gonna sit there, you know. Britney's still hot even though her head's shaved and she's, you know, hitting something. But yeah,
poor woman.
Our live feed, of course,
Chris Crocker had it right all these years. Leave Britney alone.
I was about to ask who that is, but okay, it's that.
He was right.
Yeah, it's the leave Britney alone guy. And Mike, your wife is watching live. And she commented in the feed, she said her dad needs to be butt raped. Not sure if I can say that, but I did. And it's like you do this show. Like, how is she not sure she can say that? It's like, of course you can say that.
Like, her mom, her dad, her sister, throw the whole ass family away.
Yeah, that documentary they did was wild. You watch that documentary, you're just kind of
heartbreaking. I've watched so many documentaries, done so much research into it, just trying to learn and understand. And then hearing the way she was speaking, just listening to her voice in that testimony, it was heartbreaking. You could tell how upset she is, how scared she is, how it was a lot. It was a lot. That's all I'll say. It was a lot.
I did hear that they were making her take lots of drugs, like lithium and shit.
They put her on lithium for no reason. That's damaging.
Yeah. I mean, that's a Nirvana album. Like, it's so powerful, Nirvana album out of it. Like, that you know, that's how strong that shit is. Like, Kurt Cobain was like, yeah, lithium, whatever, nothing. Like, whatever. Like,
hell yeah. I just shoot my Cheerios.
But no, I mean, it's the kind of thing that everybody said how online, but it's the kind of thing of she was acting that way because she was high. I see people act like that high in Baltimore City all the time. So, you know, it's not that she's crazy. They have her high. You know, they were like, oh, well, they asked her a question and she's just going, man, blah, blah. It's like, we have people that are just like this at any given time in the city. And we're just kind of like, yep, that's meth. That's what's happening right there. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I grew up a Britney fan as a youth. Like, if I wanted to watch dancing, Britney was my girl. If I wanted to hear singing, Christina was my girl. So, you know, all my love to Britney Spears. Get out of this, girl. We got your back. The whole world has your back.
Have you ever thought about doing a remix of one of her songs for A Light Divided?
Don't give her
maybe
any.
For like karaoke. He said, "I let all my covers live in the world of karaoke."
Yeah. Have you guys ever actually thought about doing a remake of any given song out there? Because I know a lot of remakes are better than the originals. Like,
I think it would be really fun. Like, I think it would be really fun to tackle a cover, but I'm just me, and I'm like, it has to be the right one at the right time, and this whole thing, and nobody can ever decide or agree on the same song. So maybe that'll be something that we tackle in the future. But right now, I'm just trying to get our own good songs out.
and of course, you guys, you're from Scott. You're from Florida. Jaycee, you're from North Carolina, and right here in Maryland, Scott's probably very familiar with what I'm about to bring up. You have a lot of alligators, and
oh no,
there's been an urban legend here in Maryland for years, probably like 10, 12, 15 years, of an alligator living in a pond in Maryland. People have disappeared, animals have disappeared. They're like, it has to be an alligator, it has to be an alligator. It's always been an urban legend. So there was a guy and his son that were fishing, and he just happened to look down and he saw the alligator's head pop up. He's like, well, they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. So they go back on Father's Day. And they catch the alligator. He kills it with a crossbow. Just Daryl Dixon's the shit out of this alligator.
This wasn't in Florida. This sounds like a Florida story.
Yeah, Florida man kills alligator with crossbow. That's the headline.
It was in Lusby, Maryland. And then they took the alligator home and they ate it for Father's Day dinner and kept the head. So, it's insane because I can't, and they said the reason why they did it is because it's not supposed to be there. Maryland does not have alligators. That's just, that's the way it works. Of course, Scott, you're in Florida. They're everywhere. You could open your front door, alligator. Hey, hello, alligator. How are you? And
that's good eating too, man. Gator's good as fuck.
I've
never had gator tail?
I heard it's
good too.
It's fantastic. Yeah, highly recommend.
Now, is there anything that's urban legend wise, something kind of like that out near you guys, like a crazy story like that, like something that wasn't supposed to be there that was there, and you're just kind of like, man, like I never knew that existed here. And like when I heard alligator, I'm like, alligator in Maryland, like what the fuck kind of shit is this?
I honestly don't know anything about North Carolina. I do know I'm originally from New Jersey, and we heard all these legends of the Jersey Devil.
Yes.
That's pretty popular, and I know about that. But as far as here in North Carolina, I guess I'm just dumb. I don't know anything. I'm not tuned in at all.
That New Jersey Devil story, though, is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I deliver to New Jersey all the time, and I actually saw, I think it was a Jersey Devil tattoo parlor. I was out far enough to where the Jersey Devil stuff started to be just a regular, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And also, one thing with Jersey, now that you said you're from Jersey, is it also has an exit that says Haddonfield and Voorhees all at the same time. And you're just kind of like, if you don't take this exit and get murdered by a mass psychopath, something is wrong. Because Haddonfield and Voorhees are in the same place. That's Halloween and Friday the 13th territory right there.
They knew what they were doing. Yeah. They knew.
Yeah. I love it. That's fantastic.
Now, Scott, what about you? Is there any kind of urban legend-y type thing, down where you are?
I mean, not really that I can think of. I mean, there is the urban legend of like people finding gators in their bathtub and shit like that, or like, snakes coming up from the sewers and shit. But like that's all like, I've never actually seen that or heard anybody that has an experience with that or anything. Like gators do, like, they come up, man. Like if you live like on a lake or something like that, and there's a lot of them out here, man, like they'll come up into your shit. Like, you can find plenty of video on Facebook and whatnot. Like, man, they'll come up. They'll eat your damn dog if you're not careful. You know what I mean? Like, they are everywhere out here.
I assume that's why most swimming pools have like those mesh coverings, more or less cages around them.
Yep.
Florida itself is an urban legend, I think.
It's crazy down here. It's only like 93 degrees today, something like that.
What a cool day.
The elusive Florida man.
The elusive Florida man. I bet the humidity's awful right now too. Ugh.
That's me.
Yeah. And of course, what we're going to do real quick for everybody listening at home on our audio form of the show, we're going to take a break real quick, get a word from some of our sponsors. We're going to play a light divided song while we're gone as well. And when we come back, we'll get into our games, our beer of the week, and all that fun stuff. So we will see you guys shortly.
Yes.
Awesome.
For those of you joining us live, that's just for us to break away. We're going to get right back into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. I'm here with Matt. Mike joining us for the first time in 16 years after, a long hiatus. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into the beer of the week, which kind of isn't really a beer. Matt, you want to say what the drink is this week?
Yeah, the drink this week is that the two? Okay.
Yeah, it's a number.
Two bootleggers Kentucky Mule. It's a bourbon whiskey. It's got lime juice and ginger beer.
Hold on now.
For those of you watching at home, that is what the can looks like. Right there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's really good.
And they also have on the back of the can, it said, order our Kentucky Mule coated cigars. So if somebody is a cigar smoker, I guess they dip these in the Kentucky Mule and then sell them
really good
as a cigar. So, and of course,
I know.
This episode airs in July. This episode will actually air on July 4th, Independence Day.
Hey, happy holidays.
Audio listeners. So now knowing the fact that we're in July with that, we are now going to do a new shot of the month. Jaeger will be retired now. We will not be doing Jaeger, which is...
Oh, you knew I was coming because I'm out for Jaeger.
Which is one of our best friends and worst enemies all at the same time.
I'm so glad I missed that. Because...
Yeah, you and me both.
This week is Deep Eddy's orange flavored vodka. I figured I'd go easy this week. Normally I grab a bunch of terrible, awful shit for us to do throughout the month. So Deep Eddy's, it says shake well. Oh man, this is one hell of a description on the back in cursive, and I am not going to read all that. But so
unnecessary.
Here's what we're going to do, Matt. That's going to be for you. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. And in tradition,
we're from Maryland. We don't read cursive. We stopped reading cursive.
We're like, what is this shit? But so in tradition, we're going to pour this over the laptop, which we always do. There's been times I've dropped this.
Perfect.
Went completely south because, we've had too much to drink. And then, so here, Matt, I'm going to let you go ahead and do that. Then that way, if you drop it on the electronics, it's your fault.
Don't do that to me. Don't you curse me.
Smart. I like when you point the finger at somebody else.
Yes. And my wife was reading a bottle earlier, and apparently Deep Eddy's is it's apparently a body of water somewhere in Austin, Texas, and they call it Deep Eddy. And I'm like, I just thought they were just going deep down in Eddy and just scooping something out, and that's what's hard. Yeah, like
he's like, I'm Eddie.
Poor Eddie.
So here we go, Deep Eddy's orange flavored vodka, our shot of the month for the month of July.
Cheers.
It's actually not bad. I like that. It goes down pretty smooth. And
it's like a
It's
like a cheap dreamsicle.
Yes, a cheap dreamsicle that we'll find out isn't called a dreamsicle anymore because apparently Rocket Pops aren't fucking Rocket Pops. But
need to mix it with a little bit of that whipped cream vodka for that real creamsicle taste.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, there's the burn now. Now there's the burn.
And what we're going to do is we're going to get into our Ode to Humanity segment, which is our games. So we normally start off easy, which, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. It's 5-second rule. So 5-second rule, I guess, Jaycee, we'll start with you. If you don't get it, it'll go to Scott, not Scott, 3 of us. None of us get it. It's just a dead round. We're all just losers, and that's just the way it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little weird looking apparatus right here. This is your timer. And
let me ask you real quick. Yeah. So is this types of fish?
I guess it just the category. Yeah. Like
I don't know,
I mean,
Mike.
do you want like are they named? Like, all right. So
like Alfred or like
yeah.
Like you name fish.
Okay.
All right.
So this is what we're
do. So what we're gonna do is Jaycee, you're gonna name 3 fish starting now.
Trout, bass, salmon.
Time. So trout. You want it?
I'll give that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd say she was got it right at the buzzer.
And of course, at least she got it. She knew what she was.
first round. Give me a break.
You were saying, well, what do you mean by kind? It's like, well, when you say fish,
Well,
like you're obviously naming a kind of fish. Like you're
man.
not gonna say Bob the fish.
Like
that's
fish
not,
names.
yeah. Like,
How do you know? We need clarification.
like, what do you want?
We have
Nemo?
like sunfish, types of fish.
But it's a type of fish. Like sunfish would be considered if she said sunfish. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and pin this, because next is going to be our game Incoherent. So it's called Incoherent. Pretty much I'm going to hold up a card to the camera. Can you guys see that okay?
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to sound that out the best you can in a drunken language and try to figure out what it says. There's also 2 hints on the back.
No.
So as you're sounding it out, sound it out loud, say it fast, and kind of think about what you're
I don't
saying.
even know what that is.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know this. Oh, I'm so bad at this.
Yeah.
Is this my turn or is it?
Are we taking turns?
Yeah. You guys can do it at the same time. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Teamwork.
Hey, Rig Rundell.
Hey, Rig Runs Tell.
Hey, Rig Rundell. Hey, Rig Rundell. Hey, Rig Rundell. Hey, Rig Rundell. Hey, Rig Rundell.
So close.
Would you like a hint?
Yes, please.
Jungle butt.
What a hint.
Was that a hint?
Yes.
That's the
yes.
hint. That's the hint on the card.
There is another hint if you want that hint as well.
Hey, Rig Rundell.
That's stupid.
Did you say it?
What's
Hey,
else?
Rig Run Tell.
Got it.
Yeah.
Not
Rig
mine.
Rundell. Rig Rundell. Rig Rundell.
So,
Would you like the second hint?
What's my second hint? Yeah.
The second hint is a highway of pubic hair between your ass crack and your ball sack.
I'm blushing.
he was very happy.
Just hearing, I knew Mike was gonna lose it.
Hey, Rig.
Do you guys give up?
Hey,
Hang on, wait.
yeah,
Hang on, wait, not yet.
All right.
Hold on.
I'm out.
What's
Would you like the hints again?
a
It's
jungle
jungle
butt?
Jungle
A jungle butt, which is that was my father's dying words. What he called it.
I don't like that.
And then the other is the highway of pubic hair between your ass crack and your ball sack.
He said it so professionally.
I know, yeah. A Rig Rundell. A Rig Rundell. A Rig Rundell. Hey, Rig.
Oh, it sounds so
It's-
much like it does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it when you say it and be like, oh, okay.
You guys ready?
All right, I give up.
Yeah.
Harry Grundle.
Oh, see, I had Harry, but I didn't know what Runtel was going with.
Yeah.
Harry
Okay.
Tell.
Let me remove this pin, and then we'll.
Harry Grunt.
All right, there we go. So we're
Where
back.
did you fucking find this card?
How's the box? What do you mean? Where did I find the card? Like, all right. So is it unpinned now? Are we back to the grid view? All right. So let's see. So there we go. So you guys can see everybody again, not just us. You guys, can you guys see everybody again?
What did
You guys
do?
there?
What did you do?
Wait, what's?
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh, there we are.
There we are.
So we can't do our segment Ode to Humanity without Cards Against Humanity. So are you guys
Line me up.
Are you guys
Love
familiar
this
with Cards
game.
Against Humanity? Okay.
Absolutely.
So we do it slightly different, obviously, for the podcast. Obviously, you guys don't have cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a black card, and then we're going to give you 4 options of what you think best answers this card. And actually, Matt, here's what we'll do. We'll let you read these off. Then that way, when Mike loses his mind over whatever, it is, you can just,
Okay, so the black card is what's fun until it gets weird. I mean, that's literally everything. But yeah, so what's fun when it gets weird? Your answers or options are civilian casualties, sexy Siamese twins, injecting speed into one arm and horse tranquilizer into the other, and expecting a burp and vomiting on the floor.
That's aggressive.
Yes.
It's got to be Siamese twins for me. It sounds hot as fuck and like a great idea, but then when you actually do it, it's not. I know.
You're just drunk. You're like, this is gonna be great, and you wake up the next morning, like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Right.
What would it be like? I don't know. The Siamese twins. What are Siamese? They're not the conjoined twins, right?
Yeah. They're the ones where it's like
Okay.
2 heads or
so
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could have some fun with that shit.
Right? You
Anyway.
think you could, but then when you actually have to, it's not as fun as it sounds.
Jaycee, what would you say? What?
See, I want to go with the thinking you're going to burp and then vomiting because that sounds like something I would actually do. But I think I'm going to go with the horse tranquilizer.
Also, you know what?
Because it sounds fun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because it's like, yeah, I'm going to put speed in this arm, horse tranquilizer in this arm. What could go
and let's
wrong?
watch them battle it out.
Well, there's a lady in the crowd, so I'm not going to tell you what I probably would do because it just sounds like a good time.
You will put speed in one testicle and then horse tranquilizer in the other, and then have a good time after that.
My mind went there. I'm with you.
It works as birth control.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then you got sperm going, whoa! We're going to
one is just getting there. The other one's pulling it back. I love that.
And guys, thank you for taking part of our Ode to Humanity segment. We do that every week with every guest. It's always fun. And I'm gonna kind of get back into some of this weird stuff. And there was a story that I heard over the weekend that in the town of Dixon, Pennsylvania, that's what it's called, Dixon, Pennsylvania.
Never been there.
Was a group of kids who performed an exorcism at Home Depot.
Dude, I heard that.
Yeah.
Because if there's one place to do an exorcism, it's got to be Home Depot.
Apparently they were doing it on the wood at Home Depot in the lumber section. And the police had to come and take them out of there. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, Dick's in Pennsylvania. Like, my dick has been in Pennsylvania before. Like, I mean, I don't know.
It has all kinds of weird towns. There's this blue ball, intercourse. There's all kind of weird.
Yes, it's like and it's funny because Virginia is called a city for lovers. The state for lovers. Like, it should be Pennsylvania. Like, you have intercourse, you have all this stuff. Yeah, and it's crazy because when I saw Dixon, PA, and could you imagine that? Like, you're going through Home Depot. And you just see these kids just perform. Like, did they throw holy water on the wood? Like,
light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Price compels you, and they're throwing it on like the privacy fence wood or some shit like that. Like,
since 2020 hit, period. Like those whole, I don't, anything can happen now. I'm just like, yep.
Anything could happen.
I'm just stoked that story's out of Pennsylvania and not Florida.
But you're
like, yes.
You're in Florida. You're like, any story, I'm surprised this isn't coming out of Florida.
Pretty much.
Wait, when you guys are on the road, is there any? And of course, us. Like, of course, shout out to Jimmy's Famous Seafood. I am wearing their shirt, Crab Cake City. Shout out Jimmy's Famous Seafood. They let us do our 1-year anniversary show there 2 weeks ago. Is there any place that you guys love going to on the road, like for good eats, like that just stands out that every time you go to a certain town, you guys are like, man, I have to go to this place?
Okay, so Scott and I are the only adventurous eaters. Well, not necessarily true, but we're the one that bug everybody. Yeah. So when we're in like Nashville, I have to have my hot chicken. Okay. If we are in New Orleans, I've got to have some Creole food. Like, I have to. It is a must. If we're in New York, I'm getting some pizza. Like, Chicago, we're going to Chicago soon, but spoiler. But I sold myself out. But like, I have to have like a Chicago hot dog. Like, just basically, I really enjoy indulging in the foods that are local to those areas, what they're known for, because I don't get to go through there. I don't know when the next time I'll be back is. So why not just try what the city's got to offer? I can go to McDonald's anywhere. Oh yeah. But Hattie B's or Buc-ee's, any Buc-ee's, I am going to spend $50 immediately in beaver merch.
What do we have in Maryland that not other places have? What is the big things we have here?
Crab cakes and seafood, man. That's what we want to get.
Crab cakes and seafood. Yeah.
That's another big one.
Actually, last time we were in Baltimore, Scott and I had sushi, and it was so damn good. Fresh as fuck.
Yeah. And Baltimore, especially Baltimore City in general, like regardless of what people like to believe about Baltimore with the violence there, they have some of the best restaurants.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
I'll tell you some place watch out for.
Yeah. It's like just don't be in the city after it gets dark. That's just like, because I'm a huge Orioles fan and I go to the stadium all the time and I'm fine. But yeah, we have all kinds of great eats down
I
there.
actually want to ask you because there's a great place that I love there and I cannot remember the name of it, but I know that next time we're in Baltimore, like I'm going to want us to go there, which is coming up. And it's right by, there's a venue I used to play auto bar in Baltimore a lot. And there's a restaurant nearby in that area. It was, I can't remember the name of it, but there's like Pez dispensers everywhere. Does that ring any bell at all?
Was it, like, I want to say Paper Moon Diner. Because they have like Pez dispensers, they have action figures. And
the whole place is just like Pez dispenser, and it's good as fuck. The food is so good, man. Like, it's one of those things where like every time I'm there, I have to find that place.
Yeah. Auto Bar is Howard Street. We're gonna have to look it up. We'll look it up, and I'll let you.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy some of the stuff that you try. Of course, Baltimore also has a lot of good pizza. Like I'm a big pizza guy, so if you ever,
that's my drummer. Oh my God, he cannot. If he could live solely off of pizza, he would.
Go to Johnny Rags. Johnny Rags is really good. What was that, Scott? You broke up a little bit, bud.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was saying he does live solely off pizza. What are you talking about?
I would live 100% off of pizza.
I mean, you could. It's got everything you need. It's got the carbs, the cheese. It's like a fucking food pyramid. That's why they're shaped like fucking.
And I bring that up because it reminded me of a story. I was driving, and actually I was in Jersey. Driving around at work, and I came across a restaurant that we don't have in our area anymore called Bahama Breeze. There was a restaurant.
Yeah, I know Bahama Breeze.
Okay. We had one up near us.
In Towson.
Let me paint the picture. It was in Towson, and it's since closed up. So me, Matt, his wife, my wife, we're all super close. We all go to Bahama Breeze, and we go there, and I have a really weird food allergy, which is onions. So, onions are pretty much in everything. So when you go somewhere,
I'm sorry, man.
And they go, what's your food allergy? We said onions. So the fucking FBI of food police, like they're literally like people are running around in the restaurant with their arms flailing in the air when I say this. Like, she's like, yeah, he's allergic to onions. And like everybody comes, like the server comes out. The server supervisor comes out.
The manager
comes out. The owner comes out. Next thing you know, it's kind of like National Lampoon's Christmas Story when they're crashing through the neighbors' windows and all that shit with guns and all that. And he's just sitting there like, God damn it, Kim, why'd you have to have the goddamn food police?
I heard rather than motherfucker.
How dare you?
We got so much fucking publicity right now.
I was just kind of like, Jesus, like I'll just get some chicken. Like, just leave me alone. Like,
I just want some chicken.
Yeah, like I just want some food. I just want to drink my beer and eat some food. Why are you doing this? Like literally, like they were up in my shit.
It was pretty hilarious though.
Yeah, I saw Paper Moon.
And even after the whole shit just stopped, they kept coming back. Now is everything okay?
Yeah.
We made sure in there.
It's
beer. I hope you didn't put onions in there.
Sorry to interrupt. Go back. Said a minute ago.
Did you find it?
It's got
yeah,
it's 2 minutes away.
Paper Moon. We're thinking it's Paper Moon Diner because Mike looked it up, and also Mike's wife actually just commented saying yes, it's Paper Moon. So it's called Paper Moon Diner. So the next time you're in a city, make sure you check out.
There's nothing I love more than hey, this is our drummer, Adam. He's here.
How you eating fucking pizza?
He has the goddamn pizza. Saying
if you're ever in Baltimore, go to Johnny Rad's. They were on a diners, drive-ins, and dives. Awesome pizza. Make sure you go check it out the next time you guys.
Yeah, they're from like Baltimore, so
I've been listening.
Oh, he was just watching, and now he's like, you know what? They're talking about pizza. It's time to make my fucking move.
This is my time to shine.
This is it. I'm going down there. He just kicks the door in. Yeah, we're here for
it's a drummer solo. He's coming in. I got the fucking pizza.
He's the Michelangelo of the bunch. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm the Leonardo, but whatever.
And of course, what do you guys have coming up? We know you guys are going on tour. Where are you guys going to be? What's all coming up for you guys in the near future?
We've got a show with Alisana coming up. That's going to be our first show back. I'm so stoked for that one. We had it booked in 2020, but obviously, Miss Rona took hold and we had to put her on the back burner. So we're finally going to get back to doing that show. And then we're doing a short run to, where are we going? Delaware, Frederick.
We start in Chesapeake on the 12th of August, and then we go to Delaware, Frederick, Maryland, and then back
big
home
old
to
hometown show. So yeah, we're just dipping our feet back into the water so we can remember what touring is like before we commit to a whole long one again, because your girl's gonna be rusty. They're gonna be rusty. We gotta try it on, but we have a lot planned for the end of 2021 and 2022. New music. We're gonna be everywhere. It is my goal to be everywhere. We have so many people being like, come back here, and I see y'all and I got y'all.
We have some more shows coming up this year that we can't announce quite yet, but we are going to be hitting the road for a couple of weeks later in the year.
Nice. And is there anybody in specific that you guys perform with that are absolutely your best people that you love to perform with the most?
Oh man, I have to give shout out to my friends in Varsity. We went on tour with them at the beginning of 2019 for a month. First time crossing the country, and I could not pick a better band to do it with. They're so high energy, so much fun to be around, super laid back, but not at the same time. Like their crazy matched our crazy, and it was just so much fun.
We broke so many guitars on that tour. It's insane. Like between me, Paul, their guitar player, one of us broke a different guitar pretty much every night. It was ridiculous.
I thought I was going to be able to go in business as a guitar repairman.
But honestly, all of the bands that we've gone on tour with, we've been lucky enough to have really great connections with and be friends with. Like, that you hear about bands that go on tour and they're like, God, our tour partners are like suck. I've never run into that, so I'm sure my time is coming. But till then,
we actually we're kind of going to Delaware because we got offered a show with Awake at Last, who we toured with back in early 2020 before the pandemic hit. And Varsity are doing a run together for like a week. We got offered to play the show in Delaware, and we were like, well,
I have to. Those are like,
let's just turn it into a weekend.
It's going to be a party. Yeah, we love those guys.
And when you guys break the guitars, like, is it just one swoop, boom, and that bitch is broken? Or do you have to just sometimes just kind of beat it like till it's...
Oh, it's not intentional.
Sometimes there's a video on our Facebook, Instagram, whatever, where I dead ass karate chop the neck of Scott's guitar in half.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Yeah, like I just do one of these moves and just as hard as I could did. My pinky still fucked up from breaking it, but that's what happens when you hit a solid piece of wood.
Yeah,
so
none of the instruments are broken intentionally. We don't have that kind of money.
Although
mentally, emotionally, all of that, we're broken. It's great.
To answer your question, I actually have smashed guitars on stage before in the past. And it's a lot harder to do than you think. Like it is like, take it over your head and then like slam it on the ground, and then it's like it doesn't crack, and you're like, oh God, that's embarrassing. Let's just fuck out of it now.
Have you guys ever had any bad run-ins with the wires on the guitars? Because I know a lot of times in wrestling now they will do gimmick guitars every so often, but every so often someone just takes an actual wooden guitar and they will just blast the shit out of somebody with it. And I've heard guys getting cut by the guitar strings from a guitar string just being exploded in your head. Have you had any like smashing it and then the strings just come up and just kind of, cut you up?
I've definitely caught some like scratches down the backs of my arm and whatnot from guitar strings. I'm just in the fucking way. So I've earned it. But in the moment, it's funny because on stage, there's so much adrenaline going that I don't even notice that it happened. Then I'll walk off stage and I'll be by their merch and I'll be talking to, all the fans that come up afterwards. And they're like, you're bleeding. And I'm like, what? Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. I should probably do something about that.
It is like, it is like,
I threw my shoulder out one time too. And I had to have him pop it back into place. And I have no idea how I did it. Like to this day, I have no idea. I just got off stage and I'm like, my shoulder feels weird. It was actually the Varsity tour. And Paul's like, yeah, it's out of your socket. And I'm like, cool, love that.
Yeah, I just had to like.
Yeah, and it was one of the first days. So we popped it back in, one of the top 3 most ridiculous pains I've ever felt in my life. And I didn't want to look like a bitch in front of everybody. So I went in the bathroom and cried for 20 minutes because I didn't want anybody to know.
That's the thing. Like I wake up daily with something hurting, and I never sit there and have the thought, oh, well, that hurt. Well, I made a living pretty much out of getting the shit beaten out of me for 20 years, in a pro wrestling ring. It's like, oh, why does my head hurt? Maybe it's because I've had 5 concussions, staples, stitches, all kinds of bullshit. Maybe it's because I've gotten blasted in the head with steel chairs and all that shit. So yeah, it's crazy, like, when you do that kind of stuff, especially when your adrenaline's going, like, with a guitar string and just keep on going, and then look afterwards and go, what the fuck? Like, how am I bleeding? Like, what?
Yeah, it's like I know Adam has like playing drums and then like smashed his finger and it's bleeding. Like I've certainly like
smacked myself in the face.
Yeah, I've split my head open with my guitar. Like we've had every injury you could imagine on stage, but it is one of those things where you don't even know, just like you said, your adrenaline's pumping, you don't even notice it on stage. It's not till you get off where you're like, the fuck, man, there's blood everywhere. What is happening?
Yeah, it's pretty much a prerequisite at this point that if you're in this band, you're gonna get injured, and you just have to be okay with it.
We're all retarded.
That's why I don't want I feel so hesitant to have anybody come up on stage and do like guest vocals or anything, because I'm like, y'all need to sign a waiver just in case. And just so you know what you're getting into.
And of course, being a part of the wrestling community and whatnot, like I have to ask, did you find us from Layla Hirsch? Is that how you found her band, or
what's up? Yes.
Part of the wrestling community, was it from Layla Hirsch?
No, I just saw you guys on there, and I did see that you guys did music for AEW. I'm one of those ones that with this show, I just go through and I shoot messages out, and I'm like, people are either going to respond or they're not, or they're going to say no. And it's, I got used to, with being a pro wrestler, reaching out to a promoter and going, hey, can I come out and work your show? No, we're full. We're sorry. Okay, cool. Whatever. That's just, the worst thing someone can do is say no. But yeah, I did see that you guys did music for Layla Hirsch in AEW. And that's cool. Once you get music out in the pro wrestling community, especially if it's a theme for a pay-per-view or, something like that, people just go, oh man, like, hey, this is, that's how I discovered a lot of music, was through WWE using certain songs as, pay-per-view themes. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. I remember, weirdly enough, it's just like a small world. So Layla actually lives in the same town in Jersey that my mom lives in.
Oh, nice.
So, nice. Yeah. And there's just like a lot of weird coincidences that we run in the same circle, but don't know each other. So now she and I are super cool, whatever. She's such a sweetheart. And for being such a sweetheart, she is a badass too. So nice. Love being out here supporting tough bitches.
Trained by Jaycee.
What's up? Oh yeah, she was trained by a guy that I've wrestled with a handful of times, Chainsaw Jaycee, who's also in NXT Developmental. Yeah, so
very cool.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna let you guys go in a few minutes. Facebook Live, of course, Facebook Live's been blowing up. Everybody said see you all in Greensboro.
Yeah,
hi everybody.
Yeah, can't wait to see you guys in the tri-state. I will most definitely see you all in Greensboro. Time to get lit in Delaware. Someone was like, oh, hey, look, it's Adam. And then someone was like, that's a vocalist for you, always in the way. And
fight me.
Someone was like, Austin actually said, I will sign that waiver now. And someone said, I was a drummer/lead vocalist in the past with a band, which is the only loophole for being a vocalist because I had nowhere to go. And then let's see what else. Someone said
it does kind of suck being the drummer, being stuck there. But then again, I'm more safe than anyone else is on stage.
Yeah, until I come over and stand on your drum set.
Yeah, Scott broke my rack jumping off of it one time. That was almost a disaster.
And what we're going to do is we're going to let you guys go in a few seconds. Everybody, thank you for joining us on the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, A Light Divided, Jaycee, Scott. Guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. This has been a lot of fun.
We will be back.
I enjoyed crashing.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody for joining us and listening. You guys, we're coming back. It's happening.
And of course,
Nick.
What's that, Scott?
Sorry, I will be remiss if I do not call this out on this podcast before I sign off with Nick in the chat saying, congrats to your bold, Scott. 2 back-to-back Stanley Cup run. Let's go Bolts.
Yay!
Yay, sports ball.
And of course, we will be back next week with Kimber Haven. Kimber Haven, a transgender porn star. So that should be interesting. I have a lot of questions. That should be fun. That's going to be our 4th of July special. We will be coming live on Facebook Live. That will air the following week on July 9th. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to go wrap it up on our broadcast. Would you guys be able to hang out for a minute or two?
Of course.
Live. All right, cool. So what we will do is we will see everybody listening at home and watching us at home next week, right here on Facebook Live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with Kimber Haven. For Matt, for Mike, of course, I'm Ray for A Light Divided. Thank you for joining us. We will see everybody next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
See ya.